Hey legends, we've got some big decisions to make this week with 3 trades. We need to make sure we are using them wisely because look, let's face it, we're probably all burning through them at an incredibly fast rate of knots. So with all that in mind, let's just get straight into it. Alrighty, so here is the team as it finished as of round 6, and we've got some changes to make this week because we've got a few problems that we need to clean up. And the biggest thing that I'm concerned about this week are the edges and still the centers. So we've made a little bit of progress here. We've also got Cam Murray over here, so he's out, so we need to make a decision on what we do with him. Burbo is out, Cleary won't be playing this weekend, and Piakura is at least 1 or 2 weeks away. So that's something we definitely need to be aware of. The great news is we have Lockie Galvin back, and it looks like we're going to be able to comfortably get 17 players on the park. Now, we've also got to make some decisions on Drew Hutchison. Sam Hughes, I think, is fine. Lussick, I think, is fine. And Levi is also a question mark for me. So with that in mind, some of the changes that I'm looking to make this week are, and I've just gone ahead and done those. So here we go. These are the guys that we're looking at. Murray, I don't really want to sell, but there's a couple of compelling reasons to do it. First up, he's on the bye this week, so he's not playing, so that stinks. But the other factor for Murray is, look, he's really starting to go backwards now. He's lost a fair bit of money. His break even is up to 74, so it looks like he's probably going to lose money when he comes back as well, and that's a little bit of a concern. You could argue that he's peaked with an average of 52 and being priced at 54, but I think Murray, realistically, when he's on, is more of a 60-point scorer. But I reckon the guy that I'm replacing him with, Kai Pearce-Paul over here, yes, he's a little bit more expensive than we wanted to pay. He's already made a lot of money. But the good news about Kai Pearce-Paul is his break-even is still quite low, and I think he will continue to make some money over the next 2 or 3 weeks, essentially getting up to the same level as a Cam Murray, and certainly delivering the same sort of points. I think Kai Pearce-Paul is averaging close to 51, but the benefits for me in a Kai Pearce-Paul is that he fixes up my second row. He's effectively delivering the same points, and he will continue to make money. So he's ticking a lot of boxes for me. He doesn't yet have a lot of attacking stats, which is great because as soon as he goes over for a try, his score is going to be absolutely huge. Next up, looking at Drew Hutchison, I reckon he's peaked. You know, if you look at what he's done for us, he's made us 50k, but he is starting to lose a bit of money. He's currently got a break even of 39, and I think he's only beaten that once this season with a 45, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to beat that this weekend against the Knights, so I think it's time to move on Drew Hutchison. The player we're replacing Drew with is Angus Crichton, and you might look at that and go, well, that's a bit of a mismatch, a half for an edge. Now, I'll show you my team in a minute, but I do have an abundance of halves. And I think with the setup I've got, I'm going to be okay to cover the bye round in round 13. So Angus Crichton is a player that I think is exciting. So he's currently 24k, under where he started at the start of the season. However, if we look at his last 2 games, they were absolutely huge. And I think he's going to go on a bit of a tear, especially if he can continue to play 50, 60 plus minutes a game. I think he's going to deliver somewhere between the 40 and 50 point mark consistently, which is exactly what we're looking for on our edges. Next up is Danny Levi, and very similar to Drew Hutchison, I reckon that he has peaked as well. So kudos to Danny, he's made us 97k. He is starting to lose a little bit of money, but nothing to be alarmed at. Like, I think if people want to hold on to him for another week, it's not going to be chaos. I think he'll be pretty steady, but he does have an average of 29.2 and a break even of 28. So I reckon that he's probably going to tread water for a little while. And I really need to make some moves. And because I'm ditching Cam Murray, I really need a player who I can replace him in on the mids. And Corey Waddell gives me some flexibility with his mid-edge duel. Now, the great thing about Corey Waddell is he's lost 120k. Now, you might look at that and go, you're absolutely crazy. A player that's lost 120k, why the hell are you bringing him into your team? And the reality is, it's his history. So in the past, he was worth nearly 550k, But since coming to the Sea Eagles, he really just hasn't gotten the start, he hasn't gotten the minutes, but that's all changed in the last week or two. Throw on top of that there's no Schuster likely to come into this team, and Burbo, who was on the edge, is now out for 3 or 4 weeks. Stocks in Corey Waddell have just gone up significantly. And if I can keep him all the way through until his bye round, then I reckon he will be ripe for the picking, and we can upgrade to a higher performing mid at that point in time. So that's my logic behind the trades this week. I'm not super comfortable about pumping out 3 trades, but I've got to start making some moves, and hopefully we can move up the ladder a little bit this week. So what does the team look like? Here we go. So I've got Harry Grant up on top. I'm pretty happy about that. I really want to see a 60 plus score from Harry. That would be nice. Ruben Cotter stays this week, but again, this 50 is something that we are looking to see improve. Terrell May, I'm happy for him to continue doing what he does best, which is just pump out some really good scores. Corey Waddell, well, he got the 52 last week. If he can maintain something similar to that, I'm after a 40, 45 plus. That would be amazing. We bought in Kai Pearce-Paul. 66 is sensational. I'd settle for somewhere around the 50 plus mark. Angus Crichton, a very similar story. 61 last week, and I'd be very comfortable with a 50 or 50 plus mark. That would be great. I haven't quite settled on the captaincy yet. At the moment, I've got it on Fogs, but he's up against the Broncos, and it'll be interesting to see if we maintain that. Lockie Galvin comes into the side. That pushes Ethan Strange into the centres, and I think this centre pairing of Ethan Strange with his 50 and Kale Iro with his 40 really starts to strengthen our centres there, which I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable about this week. Let's hope both of those guys can have a decent game. Pappenhausen, well, I'm hoping that goes up this week. Trebojevic, Turbo, well, he's up against the Titans, so this could be huge. He may even be a great captaincy option this week. That's something to consider. And Ponga coming off the back of a 69 where he really only played for 3/4 of the game, certainly injury affected for most of it and wasn't kicking goals. He's up against the Doggies this week, and that score could also be anything. So that's really exciting to see how things go this weekend. Over on the bench, I'm really happy with Joey Lussick at the moment. He just needs to continue to be consistent and pump out these 50s. Finny Fuiaki, well, he will be a trade-in target. He just hasn't delivered for me. Salmon's got another couple of weeks, especially if he can deliver 42. So we'll have a look at Salmon after the Bulldogs bye. And same with Sam Hughes. So both of these guys are making a bit of money at the moment. So we'll keep them on the radar for maybe another 1 or 2 weeks. Jesse Arthurs is a bit like a yo-yo. He's up and he's down. And I think long term, we are just after a little bit more consistency here. So I'm probably going to be looking at a Tom Chester for next week. I think that might be the play. That might be a little bit sideways, so we just have to park that one and have a seriously deep think on whether that's the right way to go. Nathan Cleary, well, fingers crossed he comes back next week. Burbo, well, he could be a trade-out target as well. And Piakura, I think he's about 1 to 2 weeks away. And then we're starting to look really good with not a lot of gaps and a whole bunch of opportunities that, fingers crossed, really help to push this team up the ladder, or at least that's what I'm hoping. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Look, that is the video. Now, if you've liked it, you know what to do. Smash that like button for me. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, guys, get involved in the conversation via the comment section down below. And I'll see you all in the next video.